Well, after the accident, I spent a full week in the hospital.
I was in a coma for roughly 3 weeks. I had severe brain swelling and bleeding.
Walked into the trauma unit. They let me in to go, they said I could see him. And it was exactly midnight.
I broke 2 bones in my leg, 3 ribs, and 2 bones in my nose.
They had to do a craniectomy and remove my skull.
And I walked in their big rooms. There's all kinds of equipment around him, and he was there on the right-hand side.
They had to remove my spleen.
A fractured left femur, fractured patella on my right, and ripped tendon.
He was pretty white looking. He was obviously had lost a lot of blood. Touched his hand, and it was already pretty cold. He felt so cold that I just felt like I needed to climb on the bed and try to warm him up.
I broke my radius and some of my metacarpals as well. And later they had to put in the right side of my skull back in.
Heart monitor machine was just beeping kind of relentlessly, you know, the beep, but the beep kept going slower and slower and slower, and I felt like I was gonna go crazy. And they called 0053, the official time of death. Yeah, it's one of those moments that are really hard to relive, but it never leaves your mind. So you kind of live with this ticker tape of the story.
I decided to get a scooter my freshman year because parking was very easy on campus.
There are more than 55,000 students, and there are thousands of scooters and thousands of bikes and vehicles.
Riding a motorcycle is much more cost-effective than any other type of vehicle.
I could completely understand why my son said to me, Mom, I gotta go from microbiology to Norman Hall. I've gotta go from the chem building down past the Rights Union. Like, I get it. He said to me, Mom, you know, I wanna get a bike. And I said, Tom, I don't want you to get a bike. The roads weren't made for bikes. They weren't made for scooters. They weren't designed that way.
Motorcycles or scooters are a different animal with respect to the current roadway standards. The person on the moped or the person in the motorcycle always has the smaller mass, and they could be seriously hurt or injured. Drive around the university. I bet you in 1 or 2 days of driving, you'll see a person that is pushing the limits of their scooter.
Driving on University Avenue, you can't help but see tens of students just riding around with no gear at all. And it's upsetting just to understand the repercussions of it.
Driving around campus actually feels like you're driving on a landmine. You don't have enough eyes in the front of your head, the back of your head, the sides of your head, to see all the movement and all the scooters all around you and motorcycles. I looked at him again and I said, Tom, you know, I'm really against this decision of yours. I trust you. I said, but I just don't trust anybody else. Something happens to you, I don't think I can go on. And he said, Mom, nothing's gonna happen.
The time of the accident, I was just wearing my scrubs and I did not have any protective gear on. I was making a right turn on Museum Road, and the driver, she was making a left turn on a yellow blinking traffic light, and I just hit the windshield. I thought campus was a safe haven and a safe place, and I've been riding my scooter to work for years now, and I never thought I'd be hit.
I actually don't remember anything from the accident, and I had ridden 2 blocks crossing the intersection of 13th Street and 39th Avenue, and the truck pulled out in front of me.
And the gentleman pulled out in a pickup truck right here in front of him, and this is where the accident took place, right here.
Wearing all black also doesn't help, so I was wearing all black. I had a son behind me, which is putting glare in his eyes, and he just pulled out not seeing me at all.
This doesn't bring very fond memories looking at this intersection, and you know, I still get choked up thinking about it because it's changed our lives, not very pleasantly.
The officer said he's at UF Health, he's at Shands in the emergency department, and to the best of my knowledge, yes, he's alive, but he's in critical condition. Of course, I'm panicking inside. I mean, at this point, I'm thinking, He's young, he's strong, he's healthy, he's bright. It can't be anything that could go wrong. We can fix it.
So this is the memorial that we put together for my son. Where the truck was, where his bike was. It's like a million factors that came together in all the wrong way that caused this to happen.
We have a very high functioning trauma center here. Probably functions as well as any place in the world. We can provide state-of-the-art treatments, and we can do that and pull somebody back from certain death. And then we get them upstairs in the intensive care unit, and when the dust settles, we figured out, oh, they have a devastating brain injury, and there's really nothing we can do.
And I'll never forget, the neurologist said, I need you to make a decision. And I thought to myself, wow, who makes a decision about do not resuscitate a DNR on their child? This is just like someone else's nightmare. This can't be real. Tom's 22.
Head injuries is very important because our current interventions don't work.
It's just unimaginable. You think we can do so much with Western medicine, but there's some of the brain that we just can't fix. And that was the kind of injury that my son had.
So if you want to prevent morbidity, mortality from head injuries, you got to stop them from happening.
I would definitely not be here if I hadn't been wearing a helmet. My head went full force into the hood of the truck that pulled up in front of me.
The only thing that anybody driving a scooter or motorcycle can do is wear protective gear, because that's really something that could save your life.
He went out and he bought a full helmet that kind of was real tight on him with a full face mask. And actually, the last time I saw him alive, I had just bought him a pair of riding boots. He was a safe driver. He wore all the gear, but was a bike, so they're just not safe. You just don't have metal around you. And I thought, what if I told him, I'm never going to talk to you, or I'm never going to get you anything else if you get this bike, or I'm just never going to support anything else again. What would he have done? And I actually think he would have still got the bike. I actually think he would have been, oh, that's my mom, you know, she loves me, and I'm gonna live my life. So we all felt kind of like nothing's gonna happen, because we trusted that nothing would happen, and it does. It really does.
Some people think, you know, that accidents can't happen to them, but they're more likely to happen than we understand or know.
I would still ride again, but I would ride knowing that I risk my life every time I get on the bike. I think everyone should know that.
Do you feel safe riding a scooter on campus?
Yeah, I feel pretty safe riding a scooter on campus.
I think everyone's pretty much aware that scooters are around, and I think people are more observant of scooters over bikes or something.
And why did you decide not to wear any protective gear?
I think that I'm pretty aware, and like I've had a scooter for a pretty long time, and I haven't gotten in any sort of incident or accident, so.
You never know what's gonna happen. You can't just watch out for yourself, you gotta watch out for other drivers as well, so wearing a helmet is always a good safety thing.